the sun is shining on Frank Lloyd Wright and his incredible legacy and the legacy of Aileen Barnsdall today on this wonderful winter day in Los Angeles. Like just about every one of you and anyone who has over the years driven up to the Barnsdall campus would always see the structure to my left behind me and know that whatever strange building that was, that it was really just a shadow of its probably once glorified past. Well, here it is now, fully restored on the outside with a little bit more work to go, but the inside restoration continues. But this historic Frank Lloyd Wright structure has been saved. It was decaying and literally falling apart. And thanks to the great work of the team assembled today and around me, this ResidenceA to the Frank Lloyd Wright Hollyhock House has been saved. How about a big round of applause for the restoration, this first phase of this incredible structure. I want to thank everyone for joining us this morning on this extra special occasion, celebrating the completion of phase one of this wonderful structure. In 2015, we celebrated the reopening of Hollyhock House, now the first and only UNESCO World Heritage Site in the city of Los Angeles, the only one. I neglected to introduce myself, Mitch O'Farrell, City Council Member, 13th District. Greatest privilege and honor, and how special is it that the World Heritage Site in Los Angeles gets to be in the 13th District. I really love that. In 2017, my team and I identified nearly $4 million to initiate this restoration. With our many team partners, we identified additional city and grant funding to get us to where we are today. It definitely takes a village, if not an army, to do great things, and I am so pleased to be joined today by the Gold Ribbon Committee, superstars of historic preservation. Project Restore, Ed Avila, Nancy Lopez, and Kevin Ju. Big round of applause. Our Bureau of Engineering, Deborah Weintraub and Xiao Ling Ting. Our General Services Department, led by General Manager Tony Royster. The Department of Cultural Affairs, Acting General Manager Daniel Tarika. The Curator of Hollyhock House and ResidenceA, Abby Chamberlain-Brock. And former Curator Jeffrey Herr. Also joining us today, Rosie Lee Hooks, Acting Director of Community Arts Division from DCA. Thank you so much. Welcome, Rosie. And the entire, well, probably not the entire, but our wonderful construction team, the great women and men who are doing this incredible work. And with that, yes, they deserve a big round of applause as well. Some of them are outside the fence applauding from the outside in, but fellas, we can't thank you enough for this. You're everything. And with that, let me introduce Deborah Weintraub, our city architect with the Bureau of Engineering, to highlight further the importance of this architectural gem commissioned by Aileen Barnsdall.
Thank you, Councilmember. Thank you. It's rare that you think of a city architectural group working on a restoration of this project or of Hollyhock House, and it's been a real pleasure for the Bureau of Engineering to be involved with both of these projects, and particularly I want to acknowledge Xiaoling Ting, who has donated years of her life really to Frank Lloyd Wright and probably now is one of the experts in Frank Lloyd Wright architectural restoration. You know, when the Hollyhock House reopened, I had just finished reading a book about clients of famous architects and the influence they had on them, and Aileen Barnsdall was no shy woman, and had quite a tempestuous relationship with Frank Lloyd Wright, and in the end fired him just about the time this house was done because he had so overrun his budgets. When you walk through the house architecturally, you see for a small residence the kind of typical three-dimensional complexity, the interest in light and light spreading from one room to the next, the level of attention to detail, it's extraordinary. So I'm thrilled to see this house come back. Xiaoling will tell you later, if you take a tour with her, about all the steel that we had to add to make sure that this restoration will last longer than the original house did. So the next step of bringing back the interior will be led by someone other than Xiaoling Ting, but will bring a really extraordinary resource to Los Angeles in terms of Frank Lloyd Wright's talent and skills and the complexity of the kind of architectural work that he did. So with that, I turn it back to the council member. Thank you.
Thank you, Deborah. I also want to mention Bernice Hollins from the CAO's office, who really is our contact and our source of supporting this so that we ensure the funding that's necessary to keep this restoration going. She couldn't be here today, but I want to thank Bernice. Deborah, thank you for your remarks, and thank you so much to the Bureau of Engineering for your guidance throughout this entire process. And now I'm going to turn this over to Abby Chamberlain-Brock, the curator of Hollyhock House and ResidenceA. Abby.
So we're here to celebrate a centennial for Hollyhock House and ResidenceA. Completed by Frank Lloyd Wright in 1921, these landmark structures represent not only what was built on Olive Hill, but the grand plans Aline Barnsdall and her architect conceived for an arts community here. And I think that vision has never been clearer than it is today, as we see ResidenceA coming back to life. In 1927, when Miss Barnsdall gifted the park to the city of Los Angeles, she said, and I quote, "I thought of my father, of the happiness of children and young people, with Olive Hill as a place to work and play, a background for their dreams and memories, and my reluctance at seeing a building and landscaping of great beauty destroyed, and now of my triumphal joy at seeing it saved." Here she's speaking about the park and Hollyhock House, but shortly thereafter she gave and saved ResidenceA as well. Now we know that saving these structures takes a village, and it doesn't just happen in one instance. It's ongoing work. Saving requires vision and dedication to see through the necessary restoration and preservation work. And that's evident at Hollyhock House, Los Angeles' first and only UNESCO World Heritage Site, which you'll hear repeated many times over today, which was restored by this project team in 2014 before I arrived. And it's been happening here too, commencing in 2017. It's included heavy structural steel and concrete reinforcements, along with tiny color samples and revelatory design details that are now uncovered. And now, exactly 100 years after Wright completed ResidenceA, the city of Los Angeles has finished phase 1 restoration work of this remarkable guest house. With exterior finishes complete, the vision is clear and getting clearer. We can now tell stories and more deeply engage with the site's rich history. Barnsdall Park isn't just Hollyhock House. It's an arts complex, as Wright and Barnsdall envisioned it, and as it is today. More so than the main house, ResidenceA speaks to many of Wright's unbuilt site designs here, the theater director's residence and the terrace houses in particular. We can now better share that history, that vision. ResidenceA also closely relates to Wright's Midwest Prairie-style works that came before, and his LA hillside homes to follow, which he might be best known for here in California. Famed modernist R.M. Schindler first arrived in LA to work on this commission for Wright, and his hand is evident here at ResidenceA. This house showcases the influences on Schindler, his contributions here, and the ideas that he applied to his remarkable later works as well. I can't wait to explore these connections in our site interpretation, now with the exterior complete and further once phase 2 is done. Today, Barnsdall Park, operated by the city's Department of Cultural Affairs, is a place to work and play, create and see art. At 100, Hollyhock House and ResidenceA are being saved as places of beauty for all to enjoy. I'm so grateful to be part of this project team, an incredible project team, including Project Restore, the city's Bureau of Engineering, General Services, Cultural Affairs, and made possible thanks to the support of so many, especially Councilmember Mitch O'Farrell. It is a privilege to restore these city-owned landmarks, and I look forward to continuing this work and sharing it with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Abby. I also want to recognize some of our guests today. We have in attendance Hollywood Heritage. I see Brian Curran over there. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Hollywood Heritage. We also have the LA Conservancy, and Linda Dishman is here, or there she is. Thank you. We also have guests from, I think, Spalding Square and Sunset Square. We love our history. We love our historically preserved neighborhoods and structures. And Windsor Square. John's here from Windsor Square. This is terrific. So, Abby, you mentioned Aileen Barnsdall. Well, we have Aileen Barnsdall's legacy lives on with us today, and it literally lives on through her family. We have a very special guest today, Aileen's grandson, Michael Devine. Michael, would you mind saying a few words?
Well, thank you, Mitch. It's nice to be up here on such a beautiful day for all of this. I was just shuddering to think of what it would have been like if this happened yesterday. Anyway, you know, I've always wondered what this house looked like. I've seen it's been shut up for years. But my first memory of coming up to Olive Hill was right after my grandmother passed away. And it was on a weekend, I believe. We came up here, and my parents were going through Elaine's personal effects in the what was at that time Residence B, which has since been taken down after the property was sold on that side to build some apartments. But I do remember the impression of being up here and seeing the house. So I remember seeing that house, but never saw this house. But I've been gratified over the years to watch how the restoration has happened here on the hill. And I've been involved with it. My daughter, Faith, was involved with the Board of Overseers for a number of years as well. And my niece, Kate Brady, she may even be in the crowd today. I don't know. She comes up here quite a bit, and I know she volunteers teaching art at the Children's Art Center and everything. But anyway, I just want to express on the behalf of our family, since I'm the only one here, that how gratified we are for all the efforts that everybody has made to try to make this happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Michael. The legacy lives on, and we're all just honored to help your family carry it on for all of Los Angeles and the world. When a global pandemic closely aligns with one's date of retirement, the usual council resolutions become impossible, which was really a bummer in this particular instance. So as a special recognition of this amazing accomplishment, I'd like to present a special resolution to Jeffrey Herr. Jeffrey, where are you? Right here in front, right next to Michael. So Jeffrey is the former curator of this amazing facility, and to hear his thoughts on our realizing this benchmark, and to also give a salute to his predecessor, Jenny Kazar. Now, Jeffrey is so largely responsible for the Hollyhock House becoming a World Heritage Site. Jeffrey's dogged determination and his working with the international committee that made it happen, he became an expert in politics as well as an expert in historic preservation. So, Jeffrey, we would like to present this resolution to you on your retirement. Publicly, finally, thank you. And then hear you make a few remarks. So how about a big round of applause for Jeffrey Herr? I'll take this out of your way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, this is a surprise. I was just asked to come if it was possible. And, of course, when we're celebrating something like the the completion of Phase 1 of ResidenceA, a project that I was very close to and retired and forced me to leave. I didn't want to miss it, but this is nice. Thank you so much for all you've done in terms of making sure that the World Heritage happened as well. It takes a village, for Hollyhock House restoration, and then for coming along and making sure this got started, that we just didn't rest on our laurels with World Heritage. And I would also have to say that I would be very remiss if I didn't mention Christine Peters, who gets behind this guy and makes a lot happen. So seeing this today, I'm really just giddy with delight. It's an amazing project. It's come to a very interesting finish here, and I know that as Abby and the team with the city continues with the interior, that I'm going to be thrilled again and again and again. So thank you to all of you for this and for this recognition.
Thanks, Jeffrey. So I was going to save Christine Peters for last, but since Jeffrey mentioned Christine, I just got to say, I mentioned earlier that it takes a village, if not an army, but it also takes a force of nature. So if anyone knows Christine Peters on my team, she's a longtime friend and has been on my team from the very beginning and makes things like this happen. She is me in the field and is relentless in ensuring that this project gets completed, and we're not resting on our laurels. We're doing more after this. There's a lot more to go. The motor court, Schindler's View, etc. This is a long-term project with many components. So I've just got to ask for another round of applause for Christine Peters over the years, from the very beginning with Hollyhock House and with ResidenceA, with more on the way. So without further ado, I believe this is the time okay, so I have some department certificates to give first. All right, thank you. Everyone, Dan Holden on my team, keeping me in line here. So to the Bureau of Engineering, in celebrating this day, the completion of Phase 1 of ResidenceA. So Deborah and Xiaoling, if you wouldn't mind coming up. Sure. How do you like Xiaoling's scarf? All right, you're welcome. Project Restore. The Project Restore team, please come up. Thanks. And, Daniel, Cultural Affairs. Cultural Affairs, please step up. Yeah. Abby, come on up. Very good. Okay. Yeah. Hannah, come on up. Come on up, Hannah. And General Services. Tony, yes. Oh, yeah. Construction supervisors. In fact, whoever is here constructing can come up because you all deserve this. Yeah. So welcome. Come on up. Come over here. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And we have some Department of Cultural Affairs commissioners here. Please stand if you're not already standing. So big round of applause for our commissioners who do this incredible volunteerism and the incredible work to support projects like this. Okay. All right, so you heard about some retirements, but there's another one. Kevin Jew is retiring from Project Restore, and we really hate that you're doing that, but we also thank you so much for your legacy. You and Xiaoling, your legacy is this, and I know that you'll still be engaged even after retirement. And if you have second thoughts about retiring, please come and talk to me. So Kevin, please step forward. Very special plaque for you.